All right. Sorry for that long delay, everybody, but we are back with additional Scrabble. Josh Sokol and Joey Malik again playing a best of five. We had a lengthy delay as all other divisions had their prize ceremony. ABOOLSY is his poll. Joining me again is Jared Capel. Jared, what are you thinking out of this first turn?
I think you could do something like Boyo, leaving LAS, which is nicely balanced. You could go a bit longer, playing Boyla, trying to get to that multiplier square. Josh often likes to play a bit longer. We'll see what he does here.
Yeah, it looks like Luby coming down Looby for 28 points. And in Josh's textbook, vertical style, both Josh and Jackson doing that all tournament. QI got to be the correct play for him, and maybe he can play his name next turn instead. QI coming down for Joey, as we expect. And now Josh, a very nice pull, AEILMST, and he'll waste no time playing one of his two available doubles. He'll play Lammiest. He also has Timbales in the same spot. Do you prefer one of these plays to the other?
Well, the Q has gone, so putting the I beneath the multiplier square like Timbales would have might not be as dangerous as it could have been otherwise, but it would give up X bombs. So I think they both are pretty similar. Yeah, both the leaves are sort of similar, and even though we don't have our cameras on, I am wearing a Blue Jays shirt, so we got a lot of Blue Jays love from the commentators here.
And if you like a different baseball team instead, too bad, so sad. The Jays are the best team in baseball and forever will be outside of the playing room, and they want to make absolutely sure there are no tells given away. Joey electing to play GREY instead of GEY, so JIU, a little bit unstable, and yet without a good leave to hold, maybe you want to turn things over to the tile bag and see if you can draw some good stuff. So Gray, an interesting decision there. And for the second turn, Joey will hold on to the J to see if he can cash it in. As Josh now, EENORRS is his post bingo draw. No bingos, but he will have to decide how to respond here. I think a play like ROE underneath Lamius, making ERSO and TE.
Definitely not an automatic turn, so you like to see him using his thought here. But if row comes down, ERNS is a very strong leave, especially if Joey has to work to open this board. Perhaps something like Ahi giving floaters. Now he's going to play it above, which surprises
Perhaps.
me.
Yeah, it indicates for sure he's got an S, clearly setting it up, but maybe you're okay giving your opponent that information with the strength of the setup. Josh also wanted to play the psychological mind game, so I can see Josh doing something like ROE, lamenting on top and moving it underneath, with or without an S on his rack. But we do know he's holding one here.
And Ahi does come out, and that is going to be really big for Josh. I definitely see a bingo through the A.
Yeah, this is going to give Josh a 74 pointer of engraves out of a rack that I believe otherwise wasn't going to bingo. So a big turn for Josh as he's going to take a pretty sizable leave. Engraves will put him up 214 to 91. I'd be very surprised if Josh misses engraves, but he'll do his diligence, take his time, and here it does come engraves. So Josh now ahead by 123 points after engraves. And Joey, AIKOTTU, not a lot of options. The E will give him the opportunity to play takeout. One thing to note about that play of takeout is it does have a sneaky front hook. You know what it is, Joey?
Division 2 was won by Howard Pistol, Division 3 by Ben Greenwood, Division 4 by Jennifer DeWalsh, and CSW 2 by Sonia Adebola, as takeout now comes down.
So takeout coming down, that does set up the front hook of an S. Jared, do you like either of those plays or perhaps
I like both those plays. I think whatever he does, he has to do something to address the stakeout spot, which based on his reaction, he seemed to clearly identify. This would still allow some words with SP, like SPED as an ending, I guess, but unclasped sort of things as the, worst case triple, but I think it's overall pretty safe. And TIN is a nice lead. It continues to score. And Joey has drawn a blank, so this one is far from over.
He could also play OE, PO, and TAE. That would be a rather interesting play as TAE takes just one back hook and L, and it would probably force Josh to plunk a tile to knock that line out, although Josh would be able to score about 21, 24 with that plunk. Other options, perhaps Agio through the G in gray, PIE or PEA from the P. But it looks like Joey playing OE, setting up that TAE spot. And Josh, I think, really quickly going to jump on this spot, drop either that H or more likely the W in that spot.
Yeah, that's a dangerous spot for Josh. The odd triple triple that perhaps could come with some sort of ending in spot or something like that, as well as words coming down that most right column. They would both be very dangerous for Josh. And with his lead, he can totally take a turn here just to drop a W, just to drop an H. The W scores 24 points. It's hardly such a waste of a turn, right?
But Joey's gambit pays off as he fakes a setup on the top, though he doesn't have the L, and he'll draw a bingo now that plays. He actually has two, Achiever to the R or Vesicate on top of Engraves. Joey playing Achiever quite quickly here. Vesicate scores two more, Achiever a little bit more defensive, but Joey, even after this bingo, is going to be down over 50 points. I do wonder if Vesicate was a better option for him.
With the X, you can see there's a big square beneath the E of Engraves. If he had a U, his play would score for 52. So when you have these situations, it becomes a question of, do you cash in the X now? Or do you play a different play? Maybe Habit would set up the X again through the A of Achiever.
I think it makes sense too to just make a play like Index through the E and Engraves here, go back up to a 100-point lead, hold on to that H as well for the ETH spot underneath Lamiest, and just kind of coast your way to a victory here.
Habit, yeah, you could definitely score a ton with the X, but it's not about winning by a lot. It's about having the best win percentage. So he's actually going to change it up with Bathe here. If you're going to play there, I think Habit to set up that X seems a lot more logical.
Yet the difference between Habit and Bathe is 6 points, so perhaps maybe just a little bit too big a sacrifice for Josh. I do like the play of Index there a little bit more for Josh, but we can maybe hear his thoughts after the game, and we certainly to hear them after the tournament about that.
You were talking about saving the H for the F spot. Well, Joey had the H and he plays it there. Josh held on to the X, so he's now going to have options to score with the X. Don't think that bingo is going to come down. I think it looks like, oh, he's going to play Fornix, so he's going to go with perhaps the more aggressive one. The X there is not really much of a triple risk. And the 30-point play you were talking about, easy response, isn't that much of a concern when Josh is scoring so much on his own turn here, and he already has a big lead.
That's why it's so important for Joey to open another line here. You expect
Right.
Josh almost every instance to play alongside the F. Maybe you don't think he has the Z for a ton of points. I'm not a fan of this play by Joey, yet we've seen time and time again Joey, a very consistent player in his strategy, independent of game score. He tends to ride the equity train, and this certainly an equity play here, but I just don't see how he wins the game after making this play. It's so hard to lose after any of those options. I think Josh is going to hold on to his eye here just to give him a little bit more stability on his rack. The disaster scenario of drawing 7 consonants when Joey opens his board, what he's trying to avoid here, if I had to guess.
Yeah, that's fair. He also could have played Azide holding LM just to keep the scoring potential with that M.
Yeah. Josh, I think once a week running a stream. I think it's every Thursday night.
Yeah, it's
Maybe
2 hours, and I think Josh does it in the early evening, and I think Will does it for 2 hours late afternoon, about 3 to 5. So if someone in the chat has better information than we do, please post it so that everyone else can follow. Gravel comes down, that plays
And
off
Josh,
5 tiles, leaving FA.
Josh to bingo with clouding right away. So Joey again bingo or opening at the wrong time, maybe a turn too late, and he's getting smacked. 86 points. This one is done, folks. Josh Sokol going to take a 2-1 lead over Joey Malik.
You don't have to study words. You can come out, have a great time. There will be players at your level no matter where you're at. And if you're very new, people will be very happy to teach you, give you pointers, and just come, have a great time. There's just so much to enjoy about this game and this community.
That's one of the beautiful things about this game is as I take vacations, as I travel, there's almost always a Scrabble club in the city I go to. I can always kind of plan a vacation about getting to that club and meeting even more folks, the fine folks at the club in LA. Happy to host me there. I've met some great friends up here in Philadelphia this summer. Great friends in Toronto as well, as I travel up there frequently, in Montreal. There are so many awesome people who play this game. And if you like nerdy pursuits, get yourself out to one of those clubs, get yourself out to one of these tournaments and meet some of these folks. I cannot endorse this enough.
Lots to love in this community as Joey thinks through this end game that on the balance of probabilities won't matter, but still good practice. He has 10 minutes. Let's see if he can find the optimal sequence.
Yeah, I would not be wasting the brain power. I've got better things to be doing. I've got more games of Scrabble to be playing. And now if I'm Joey, I'm facing an uphill climb. Though Joey has overcome long odds before, he had to win several games on the last day. He had to beat Jackson Smiley by 109. And what did he do? Brought down the hammer, drew all 10 power tiles, and beat him by almost 300 points. So we've seen Joey do it before. Will we see him do it again? Josh holding on to win this one in commanding style, scoring over 500 points. And we will have ourselves one or two more games in this tournament. A Josh victory next round makes him the 2023 North American champion. A Joey victory gives us an intense winner-take-all Game 5. We're going to cut to over the board banter right now, see what these players have to say.
I had the blank, but I didn't have an L.
Yeah, that's nice. Very nice one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there was too much for them to discuss in this one. This one felt
The delayed stream, I guess, is effective.
almost a bit obvious here. A pretty big lead early. I'm really hoping for a nice, close, contested match next game. And most of all, I hope the best player wins.